right now, I'd like to introduce to you our chalice lighters, who are the teachers and guides for our 9th grade coming of age class all year. Kayla Calvert, Brandy Phillips, Melissa Smith, and Janet Adams Westcott.
This light unites us. This light unites us with our neighbors, our friends, and our enemies.
Most importantly, this light unites us within ourselves.
Our hearts, our souls, our spirits.
This light unites us.
Who here has seen a baby or child dedication here at All Souls? Ooh, lots, nice. As I look out at our children, I remember, and some of our adults, I remember when many of you were dedicated. But you may not remember. I, as a child, was dedicated on this chancel too. And in the ceremony, one of our ministers takes the child into their arms and places their hand on their head, if they're older like I was. And they have a white rose, and they touch the rose to the child's eyes. And they say, "May your eyes see beauty." And then they touch the rose to the child's mouth, and they say, "May your lips speak truth." And then they take the rose and they touch it to the child's chest, and they say, "May your heart know love." And then they touch it to the child's hands, and they say, may your hands do the good works of this world all the days of your life." And later the ministers look at the parents and the grandparents, and they say to them, "When this child reaches the years of discretion," which means when they grow up, "bring them back into the church so that they can say from their own hearts that they confirm the meaning and the purpose of this ceremony." Today is that day for this class of coming of agers. They have reached the years of discretion, and they have come back to confirm their values and beliefs. So today we've given each of them a white rose to wear, to remind them of that ceremony many years ago and connect this day to that. I'd like to ask you to join me in thanking this year's coming of age teachers, Janet Adams Westcott, Brandy Phillips, Kayla Calvert, and Missy Smith. Thank you so much.
Good morning, church. Good morning. The purpose of the Coming of Age program here at All Souls is to help our youth during a formative juncture in their lives determine who they are as individuals and, more importantly, what they believe spiritually. The Coming of Age program culminates with each youth crafting a personal statement of belief, a credo. The credo writing and formulating their beliefs began on Back to School Sunday. It is here where we began introducing church-wide themes and different theologies. It is also here where we began our spiritual journey together, that is faith formation. Coming of Age program focuses on historic and modern Unitarianism and Universalism. It also focuses on All Souls as an institution, and more importantly, they look inward into their own souls. To further their credo development, each spring we travel to the Unitarian city, Boston, Massachusetts. Here we get to experience how Unitarian Universalism, our UU history, and especially U.S. history are all intertwined, including the founding of the United States. For instance, the Declaration of Independence was actually signed at Arlington Street Church. This is just one of the many special opportunities to articulate and develop their credos on this very special trip. The Freedom Trail, Walden Pond, Arlington Street Church, King's Chapel, and especially Harvard Divinity School were a few of our stops as we solidified our credos through a long weekend of exploration, introspection, and Dunkin' Donuts. This is where the magic happens. Boston, not Dunkin' Donuts. Unitarian Universalists go through this rite of passage in a similar way that many peers, like Marlin mentioned, go through bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah, or confirmation. Instead of a creed-based religion where beliefs are prescribed, ours is a religion founded on and rooted in individual religious authority. Instead of reading or reciting excerpts from ancient texts as other faiths do when confirming their youth, Here at All Souls, we give our young people the opportunity to speak the truth from their hearts, from this very pulpit, before this beloved congregation. And today, you will hear these wonderful, beautiful expressions of beliefs, and in them, find reassurance that freedom of belief and diversity live on in this congregation. Thank you for supporting the Coming of Age class, and we hope you enjoy this very special service. Thank you.
When I was little, I thought that your religion was based on what your family believed. My theory has changed now because of this coming of age class and my trip to Boston. During the course of this class, I have had time to reflect on my beliefs and my ideas of the world religion around me. My parents have influenced my beliefs a lot, not in the way of me agreeing with them in everything, but more that they gave me freedom to figure out what I believe. When I went to Walden Pond, that was the first time I ever truly was in nature with no distractions. I wasn't on my phone and I wasn't around people. I was in true peace. For me, that's when I felt my connection to God. But it wasn't the traditional God I once knew. To me, God is a feeling. God is a connection to others and our emotions. God is the hope that we have to keep going. I feel that this feeling of God is in all of us in our own way. No one is to decide who he is or what he is for other people. Everyone has their own beliefs. To me, it is that feeling to keep going and to help others. It is what guides us to be our best selves while staying true to other people around us. There are other times in my life where I felt that feeling, whether it was helping someone out through charity or community service, or if it was just as little as making people laugh. For me, laughter is how I connect to people. Laughing and smiling with the people you care about the most is one of the most welcoming and pleasant feelings you can have. It is also sometimes something that can make someone's entire day or week. When someone genuinely laughs, you see their true smile, not the one that you're forced to do as a kid during a family photo. I say all this because laughing gives me hope. It gives me hope that everything will be okay. The best part about laughter is that it's free. Someone that has brought me a lot of laughter is the late Robin Williams. He is without a doubt one of my favorite actors and comedians. He was also very wise. I aspire to be as genuine as him and hope to bring as much joy to others as he did to me. Now, before I go, I want to mention my favorite quote of his. I don't know how much value I have in this universe, but I do know that I've made a few people happier than they would have been without me. And as long as I know that, I'm as rich as I ever need to be. Thank you.
My name is Maya McLean, and this is my credo. Firstly, I want to thank my parents, not only for my amazingly good looks, but for giving me a chance to learn about myself through this program. I never felt very strongly about religion until I listened to testimonies and saw the way God and the Bible has touched and affected so many people. I believe in God. I see God as a helper, not a puppet master. God will point us in the right direction, but God can't always keep us from straying away from what was intended for us. I don't see God as a man with a beard laying across a fluffy white cloud. I see God in the amazing people I've met, songs I've heard, and beautiful things I've seen. I think there's a universal sound we can all feel and hear that connects us, everyone, everywhere. Some people may see it as something else. I see it as God. I don't like the idea of hell. Not that anyone does, but I'd rather see it as everyone going to a happy place instead of the bad ones having to suffer. John 1:5 says, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness can never extinguish it." So many things can and will change over the course of my life, but right now I know that I am filled with gratitude for the love and guidance of my parents and for the experiences that have led me to a deeper understanding of spirituality and of myself. I have come a long way, and I have an even longer way to go. To quote Tyler Childers, "My mind's a mile a minute, and my thoughts, they bark like hounds. I just focus on my breathing and the universal sound." Thank you.
We all know life is hard. Sometimes we may even say it's difficult. I feel that those moments where life is hard shape us into who we are. I have learned that our struggles don't make us bad people. Our struggles make us different, yes, but not bad. Bad things happen to good people, and that's what complicates things for me. I was Christian for a long time. I endured some domestic abuse, and it kind of made my look at the God of the Bible change. A lot of people say in those hard times, God was there for them. But I felt like God ignored me most days. The only thing that kept me going was my siblings and the fear that no one was going to be there for them if I wasn't. So yeah, it is hard for me to believe the Almighty God of the Bible is real. Part of my mission is to figure out if God is real, or if there is something after death. The only thing I know for sure that I can believe in for now are my family, friends, and mentors. At the end of the day, I know they will be there for me like I know I'll be there for them. My mission is also to find things in people to believe in. I don't quite know what those things are yet, but I'm not going to stop searching until I find them. I'm also still trying to figure out what God means to me. But if I believed in any God, my God would be kind, courageous, and isn't going to discriminate on anyone because of their skin color, the gender they like or don't like. My God would be passionate and equal to all because God created us and loves us as we are. A lot of churches tend to say, "Come as you are," but do they all really mean it? The answer to that question is up to you. Another thing I learned this year is that good things happen to good people. I just got out of the situation I was in and now live in safety. I no longer have to worry about taking care of my siblings and can finally be a kid again. Now I can finally try and find what I believe in and can take the time to figure myself out. If anyone is listening and feeling hopeless, just keep going. If you feel like there's no one there for you, know there is, and know you're not alone, because I know how it feels to feel like you're alone. Just know you are worth it. Just like everyone going through something, or even if you're not. This coming of age class has made me realize a lot. I have finally found the things I have been searching for all along here at All Souls.
I am Van Waldron, and this is my credo. When I went to Walden Pond in Massachusetts during a coming-of-age group's trip to Boston over spring break, I thought about Hermann Hesse's novel Siddhartha, which explores Buddhism from a Western perspective through the life of the titular character, a man trying to understand his self. In the novel, Siddhartha escapes samsara, the endless cycle of life, not from the teachings of the Buddha, who has himself achieved nirvana, nor as a priest, ascetic, or wealthy man, but from the lessons of a river. But his son, who comes to live with him there, detests that life, and Siddhartha respects the path of those who choose to follow the Buddha, for his path is nobody else's. I believe that our existence is made of countless paths, and the only choice there is which path we take. We cannot change what has been done, and the only thing that matters is what we do next. I believe that death is the final thing that comes when every path converges. We are gone. What would we be in a place with no more choices to make? I believe that evil is as much a choice as any other. Evil is a road people choose, even close to home. I believe that all people are equal on a moral level, if not a legal one. But that doesn't mean I have to respect their decisions. It's one thing to believe in an objective truth and another thing to live by it. Actions are more important than ideologies, and I think that doing good is more important than defining it, no matter how much I would like to discuss the latter. My path, I feel, has been a thin one, and it was a long road to get here. For me, wholeness comes with sunlight in the mountains, and like Siddhartha, I find truth in the water. Finally, I want to thank everyone who helped me get here. It wasn't easy.
My name is Cassius Clark, and this is my credo. Success usually comes to those who are too busy to be looking for it. This is a quote from Henry David Thoreau in regards to success. If you ask what success was to me, I would quote the late great Muhammad Ali, with whom I share a birth name, who said, "Service to others is the rent you pay for your room here on earth." I believe your impact on others determines your success in life, as well as the joy that you have doing it. There have been 117 billion people that have walked on earth, and you have to do something great to stand out. And there's people with my name, and there's people with other names who have done great things. So my goal in life is to have my service to others impact many, many, many people, far more than I could do just by myself. And happiness in life is determined by you and only you. I personally find happiness in the people I surround myself with, like my friends. They're people who mean something to me and who I care about. And I also find happiness in my church. All Souls has had one of the biggest impacts on my life. I found who I am here. I found comfort in the people I've talked to. I've been coming here since I was a baby, and I'd say besides my house, this church is my only other home. The people here are family, and I take pride and joy in knowing many of the people sitting here today, and it was never wrong to say that love is the spirit of this church. Although if you ask me what I believe in, you'd be met with no answer, because I've gone around the world and I'm still complicated on the subject of God. And going to Boston made me realize that I didn't need to try to force myself onto God, because he'll always forgive and know how to love and learn. Prayer is not a request to be fulfilled, but more like a guide on how I can meet those requests. And God will find you and everyone when the time is right. I heard a story a couple of weeks ago. There was a king so smart and wise that even God sought his advice. And God asked the king, I want to play a game of hide and seek with humanity. So he asked all his best angels where the best place to hide is. And some said at the bottom of the ocean, or the tip of the highest mountain, like on the far side of the moon or a distant star. And then he asked the king, where do you think I should hide? And the king hesitated for a second and responded, hide in the human heart, for that is the last place they'll find. And then, Mom and Dad, I started my journey in childhood off like this, and I want to end it the same way. Thank you so much for allowing me to achieve everything I've been able to. And I want to thank everybody in this room today. You all have a special place in my heart, just like God.
All right. Hi, my name is Stratton, and this is my credo. Henry David Thoreau believed God surrounded him out in nature. I myself feel close to creation, but not necessarily some creator. Thanks, man. You're a real one. When in the right setting, preferably alone, the world is quiet. At Walden Pond in Boston, I was in this sacred quiet. There I decided that I believe in my family, my friends, the earth, and people as a whole, as opposed to an anthropomorphic God. I think religion is something a lot of people take comfort in. I mean, look at you all right now. There is so much love in the people I'm surrounded by, both in and out of church, but religious intentions of love have too often come with hate, unaccepting and unforgiving hate. But in a sermon at Arlington Street Church given by Reverend Fred Smalls, I learned how crucial it is to learn to exist in a world full of hate. So that way, when it's all over, and I'm just a wave returning to the ocean, or an autumn leaf breaking off its tree and gliding through the wind, I'll be a part of that sacred, quiet world. Thank you.
My name is Iris Kennedy, and this is my credo. I would like to start by thanking people that have helped me in my journey to discover my beliefs. I want to thank Corey for always answering my questions, no matter how many I have, and for guiding me and the entire group through this journey. I would like to thank my family for being so kind and pushing me to learn about what I believe. I want to thank my dad for always giving me amazing advice, my mom for listening to everything I say, and my sister for always looking out for me. I want to thank my grandpa Ron because he had such a big impact on my life. He was a person you could always talk to no matter what, and you could bring anyone to meet him, and he would make them feel like family. He was one of the most kind, loving, and open people I've ever met. At the beginning, I saw no point in learning what I believe. Now I have a foundation of what I believe and appreciate that I had the ability to learn about religion in a kind and understanding environment. I had a really negative view on religion after going to a very strict religious school. At the school, I felt like they were forcing their beliefs onto me, which made me have a really negative perspective on religion. Over time in Boston, I heard from multiple people about why they believe what they do. I learned that not everybody has strong beliefs because it was taught to them. Some people have beliefs for multiple different reasons. A person that really helped me understand that was John at the Christian Science Church when he told us that he was healed by being a part of the church and gained a huge amount of self-confidence, especially in public speaking, by healing his past. I really opened up to learning what I believe because of this opportunity. These are my beliefs. I believe that religion is an amazing way to help someone heal. I do not believe that the Bible is a literal interpretation of God's word. I believe that prayer is a form of comfort for people, but is not necessary for someone to have beliefs. I believe that God can be a million different things depending on the person you ask, so there is no absolute definition of what God is. I believe that who you love and what you believe has no effect on your afterlife. I believe someone's beliefs should not be centered around what will happen after death, rather it should be centered around life. I believe that classes about spirituality or beliefs are helpful for some people as a guide to what they believe, but it can also have a negative impact on someone's views of spirituality. I believe that spirituality should be found by the person, but classes can help begin the process. I don't think anyone should feel pressured to believe anything they can't agree with, because I feel like spirituality is very personal. I would like to end with a quote from Martin Luther King Jr. "Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that." Thank you.
My name is Anaya, and this is my credo. I believe in humans. I believe that if we really tried, we could shape and reform the world to our liking, whether that is on a spiritual, political, or technological level. We humans have advanced, changed, and adapted with the world around us. But even though we have learned and taught generations of our mistakes, we still seem to repeat historic events in different ways. And I can't help but wonder, why? Why, after not one civil war, are we at chances for having another? And even though slavery has technically ended, people still face discrimination, racism, and hate for the way they look, where they come from, their history, and disabilities. And they just expect us to sit there and take it? Well, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. I'm not just gonna sit here and say, well, that's life, when it doesn't have to be. Because I choose to contribute to this world the ethical way, whether that's protesting, starting petitions, or even leading civil rights movements. I choose to do it because I believe that small actions can make a big impact in the world. Even if the results are not immediate, they're still there. You know, I've never experienced racism firsthand before, so I can never really truly speak about it from the heart when we talk about Black Lives Matter and stuff, because personally, I think all lives matter. But I remember precisely on the third day of our Boston trip, we were supposed to part separate ways and find a quiet spot in the woods to work on our credos. But knowing me, because I'm such a smart girl, I decided that it would not be wise to go in the woods because I know that I'd find any and every possible way to get myself killed. So I sat on a staircase near the pond and started writing. After a while, I closed my eyes and embraced the world around me. The breeze chilling my skin, the pond's waves hitting the shore, the sound of children's laughter as they played in the sand. Everything seemed so perfect. But then something sharp and textured hit my face. Then I heard someone yell at me. I opened my eyes and saw a literal toddler standing in front of me. The stuff on my face was sand, and I realized that this kid had just called me a racial slur. And I was so stunned. Was this the same little Timmy that was eating sand 2 seconds ago? And I didn't know what exactly to do, so I just got up and ran. I was so focused on cursing out every tree that I ran into and each squirrel that crossed my path, I didn't realize that I ended up in the exact death trap I was trying to avoid. Trees beyond trees. No people, no Wi-Fi, no witch in a gingerbread house. It was terrible. And obviously, sooner or later, I got out, with not a single page of my credo written, but in fair trade, I received an open mind. I thought about the kid, how I could have handled the situation more maturely, and then I thought about the parents. Did they teach their kids this? Were they taught this when they were younger? And as much as I wanted to plot revenge, make a scene, and justify any violent action I've thought of, I remembered this simple yet effective quote. An eye for an eye, and the world goes blind. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, I'm not here for religious or spiritual purposes. I'm here because I can and will make a difference. And this church helps me realize it every day, that even though the afterlife is eternal, so is the legacy you leave behind.
My name is Clay Waltz, and this is my credo. Love can truly heal the world, and love can make a difference in so many lives. I don't quite know my religion just yet, but I do know that I believe in love for everyone. And love doesn't just have to be romantic either necessarily. Platonic, as well as any other kinds of love, can be so much like more or just equally as important for other people. I see love manifest in so many ways, such as being around my friends, family, partners, and the people I care about. And I see love when I think of God, even though I've gone through years of hardships that have caused me to either think God was ignoring me, hating me, or just choosing to let me suffer. Because of that, I have changed my views on God over the years. God looks like so many things, and it's difficult to pinpoint exactly what any of them mean to me. I feel that God is both free and contained at the same time.
God lives in many places, and the church is one of them. Church means so much to me, and not in the sense that I feel like I have to go every Sunday or Wednesday or anything like that, but in the sense that I feel like I can go whenever I need to. All Souls is such an amazing community, and I cannot even begin to explain how much this church has done for me in the years I've been here. The people at All Souls have also supported me through it all, and I will always be grateful for that. My family has been very helpful to me regarding my religious journey. My mom has always been so loving and understanding of me, and I will forever love her for that. I have felt so many times like my ability to love has been taken from me, but I have always found it again. Love can be powerful. We just have to find it within ourselves, no matter how much it feels like it's been taken from us. Thank you.
My name is Lyla Lavanhar, and this is my credo. I used to not be certain about my beliefs about God, but I would occasionally find myself murmuring or praying to God. I'm Lyla, as most of you know, and I believe that there is something out there, like a spirit or a protector, someone or something that will keep me safe. Many people believe in one God and that their God should be the same as everyone else's, but I also believe in Jesus. I believe that there is a God for everyone that's willing to believe or wants to believe. My God protects me, and here are ways that he has. He's protected me in nature. One time I went on a trip with my mom and my dad. We went to Santa Fe, and I was hiking, and it had been a long time, and I wanted to go back to the car. And so my parents let me because it was an easy walk back. So my dad gave me the keys, and somehow I got lost. I thought I knew my way, but I got lost. I was lost in the middle of nowhere, and I prayed to God to help me. And I got really scared, and it was a really long time, and so I decided to call 911. But I was scared too. Right as I called 911, I heard my mom and dad yelling my name, trying to find me. And I heard my dad say, "Follow our voice." And that's when I knew I'd be safe from there. Thank you, Mom and Dad. Elias, I wish you could have been there so I could annoy you, but you weren't there. In Boston, we went to Walden Pond, and that's when I really connected with God. I'm so thankful for my family for allowing me and helping me to believe in what I want and supporting me and always being there for me. I believe that there is someone or something out there, and I believe that there is a God for everyone. My God protects me. I also remember when I was at All Souls on Good Friday, and I looked out the window, and there was a sun reflection of a cross, and it appeared and disappeared, and it was really spiritual for me. I stared at it the whole time. I talk to him most nights, mostly every night, but every day also. My God laughs with me, he cries with me, he loves me, and I love him. I believe that everyone deserves to feel like someone is always there for them if they want it. I believe that everyone deserves a loving connection with the Spirit. I'm a Lavanhar, and I'm proud of it. I'm proud of my brother for overcoming anything and always being there for me, even though he can get on my nerves. I love you. You're the best brother anyone could ever ask for. I'm proud of my mom for putting up with me and for doing anything to protect me. And I'm proud of the amazing person and photographer and martial artist that she is and has become. I love you, Mom. You're the best. I'm proud of you, Dad, for holding this family together through hard times and through great times. You're an amazing artist and my favorite minister. I love you, Dad. You're the best, Dad. Not the best dancer. But I love you. You mean the world to me. Thank you, All Souls, for listening. I love you all, most of all. And as my dad would say, go and be blessed and be a blessing. I love you. Don't actually go. It's not over. But thank you.
My name is Mason, and this is my credo. I don't believe in a God or anything that I can't prove exists. I can't put my faith in them. So instead, I put my faith in us. I believe in me and the people around me. I believe in the people that show up even when you explicitly ask them not to. You know that they always have your back. I believe there is good in everyone, and that just because someone doesn't do good doesn't mean that they can't. I used to be cynical and thought that everybody had a motive, but I met people who changed that. Our youth director, his wife, and their 2 kids. Now I know that everybody has some good in them. I believe that everything happens for a reason, not because a God makes it happen or because it is pre-planned, but because someone takes an action. Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, a shallow man believes in luck and a strong man believes in cause and effect. I believe in cause and effect. No one knows for certain what happens after death, but I believe in reincarnation. I have seen and heard enough evidence for reincarnation to believe it to be a fact. As for what we'll come back as, your guess is as good as mine. I don't have all the answers. If I am to be reincarnated, then I can take life at my own pace. There's something I can't do in this life, I have another to get it done.
My name is Oliver Cornelius, and this is my credo. I stand before you today as one flesh, but as many souls. I am a culmination of the many guides that I have followed throughout my life. I think of my grandfathers, Opa and Ollie, two kind and pious men who taught me the ideals of curiosity, commitment to humanity and academia, and most importantly, maintaining my own identity and self. Even though they aren't with us today in flesh, I know they would be so proud to see me standing at this pulpit today. I want to thank the people who sit in the pews and listen to me today, my family, friends, and this congregation as a whole. I extend my gratitude to you all. Your kindness towards me has permitted me to blossom forth into something that I could not have ever imagined. Without you all, I would have no pulpit to speak from, nor words to speak. With all the wisdom of those that have came before me, I can proudly speak these words. I believe. I believe that morality, when broken down into its bare and isolated form, can be viewed as follows. Good is an action that helps yourself or others. Bad is an action that harms yourself or others. People of any creed and faith can mostly agree on this, but it is defining these broad terms of good and bad where our convictions begin to differ. It is to my most current understanding that a person has three places where they can derive their definitions of these words. They may derive it from themselves, like the Greek Stoics, and define good as seeking your true potential and finding who you really are, and may define bad as being docile and not ever finding who you really are. People who seek their definition from unity and society, like the humanists, may see good in the beauty of human connection and as kindness to others, and see bad as ousting people or treating others differently for unjust reasons. Finally, they may derive their definition from some higher power, like Christians, who may define good as following the word of God and connecting through God through prayer, whilst defining bad as straying away from the word of God, or sin. As I currently live, I cling to the ideals of two of these, of self and society. I lead my life with these ideals by attempting to always take action to better the world. This may be through simple things like volunteering or charity. As long as I can uplift those around me, that is all the fulfillment that I require. I also try and act kindly to myself. I enjoy staying active and well-read to ensure that in moments of isolation, I am at peace with my own mind. But this is only me. Others may claim the same source of belief, yet we will differ on how this presents in our lives. The opposite is also true. Some people find different fountains of inspiration, but can land in the same conclusion. For example, I have never heard the voice of God, and I'm unsure if I ever will. My Aunt Pam has heard the voice of God, and it has guided her down a path to better the world by feeding people from her church's pantry. To me, this conviction is incredibly honorable and one I would wish to take part in. It matters not to me whether you believe in Buddha, Allah, Jesus, or nothing at all. As long as you better humanity because of it, your faith is just as valid and as true as mine. Thank you.
On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I extend to you our 9th grade class of 2024 our congratulations on successfully completing the Coming of Age program. To be successful, a church needs good ministers and dedicated members who understand the history and traditions of the congregation and who also know their own values. You carry on this proud tradition among us, and we are very, very proud of you.
Let us give these young people a round of applause for all that they have done. I want to ask the adults, do you remember that moment in your early teens when the adults who you grew up around really saw the glimmer in you of what was possible and what was to come? Or when you first did something that impressed the adults in your life and it gave you that first taste of what it feels like to be acknowledged as a person regardless of your age. That is a moment of coming of age. When we become aware of the extent of our own worth and dignity as a human being by the way of the world simply noticing us, seeing us. Now, you all, ninth graders and 10th graders in our coming of age class, you are, I think, the most watched generation that has ever lived. We have security cameras all over these days that watch us. You have grown up with your parents have phones that have video players and cameras on them, and they've been taking, well, many of them taking videos and photos of you since you were very young. You're the TikTok generation. A lot of you have gotten onto TikTok or other social media sources and have been seen by people around the world on social media. You have been watched all your life, but today you are seen. Today we see you. You're seen as dedicated because you worked hard to get to where you are today, fulfilling this program this given year. You are seen as noble, a person to be admired for your high moral excellence. You are seen as a person of worth and character. You're seen as unique. Your credo was unlike anyone else's credo. It was yours. You spoke from out of your own heart. We see you as a unique person in this world. And you are courageous to stand up here and read your beliefs to all of us at your age. Oh my gosh, you are courageous. And in a world that is too often marked with indifference and with cynicism and with division and with hate, you have shown us that you care deeply and you care with passion about life. We see you, we honor you, and we bless you this day. I brought my sword with me today. This sword is, a sword, any sword, has been used throughout time as a symbol. Different kinds of symbols, but one of the symbols is a symbol of the power over life and death. And you all, as you have reached this age, it's not only the age of discretion, but you've also reached the age where you are beginning to hold in your hands, in your life, the power over life and death. You are at an age where you can or soon will be able to create a life. There is no greater responsibility in the world than creating a life. You are also soon to be at an age where you will be driving a car. That is a life or death thing. You know, if you choose to get in a car with somebody who's been drinking or otherwise taking drugs, if you were to get in a car having done so, if you were just to decide to look at your phone and get distracted while driving or allow somebody else who's driving with you to do that, it could end your life. We see it all the time. I've had to speak to the funerals of young people from drug overdoses, car accidents, and other things like that in the years that I've been here at this church. You are at the stage where you now have the power, and more will have the ability to both shape life and also death. And so we are so glad that you have decided in this year to find your North Star, to get clear about what you value and what you care about and who you are, so that you will go through the rest of your life knowing what you care about, who you are, and what you're about. No matter what the rest of the world tells you, no matter what other people are doing, you know who you are, and it makes us very proud of you. A little bit later, in just a moment when I finish, you're going to come up here and sign the book that the coming of age class signs each year with your names, and we have a gift for you. And I'm going to invite you to take hold of this sword for a moment as you're walking up, and just hold it and close your eyes for a second and feel it, and remember that you're at a stage of life. You're no longer a child. You are now at a stage of life where you also are beginning to have the power over life and death. But I also want to say you also are growing in wisdom to be able to handle that power. So today, you have out of your own hearts and your own minds acknowledged your duty to humanity and to that which you consider most sacred. You have made it known today that you dedicate yourself to a life of righteousness and of love as you have been given to know it. And we said, as we said to you, if you came up here as a baby and were dedicated, we said those words to you. You've now come forward and made them your own, in your own voice and in your own way. Welcome into the fellowship of all good souls. May your eyes see beauty. May your lips speak truth. May your heart know love. And may your hands do the good works of this world all the days of your life. We love you. Amen.